Mr. Brotman. You're in big trouble this time.
Yes, I am.
Welcome to the Kate Show. With me today is Gary Brotman. What's going on, man?
Just here with you, and I'm here to have a good time and just interact and talk about music.
Start things off with Wally and the Weirdos. How did you first encounter those guys?
Well, I've known Lee forever, and then his very weird friends, I've known them almost as long. Those guys are, and still are to this day, a bit weird, so I felt really at home with them.
So who is Wally?
Well, I always thought it was Wally from Leave It to Beaver, but I don't know where that name originated from, but it seemed to work really well, and it was very rhythmic with the Weirdos, so why not?
Do you have any funny stories about being with the band?
No, I mean, everything was funny with those guys. They're just funny. One thing that always stuck out to me was they were kind of like the Beatles in the sense that, you know, the Beatles would move like as a unit, and nobody could kind of break through that, and they just moved as like one big brain. You know, it was just like a unit that just kept moving in this direction or that direction or whatever direction it was they were going, which a lot of us just didn't know. We just followed it around.
So what was your favorite lineup of the band?
You know, I like Bob and I like Tom. I really never saw them with the original bass player.
Mike Barton, you
Mike
mean?
Barton.
Uh-huh.
So Bill Resnikoff was good. I liked Andy, you know, Ange. And I thought their lineup was pretty much the same musically with Tom or Bob Clark, like both of them. Got the privilege to play with both of those guys too. And of course, Lee and Russ. So,
I agree with you definitely that there's no single lineup that's any better than the other one. They were always good.
yeah, they were fun group.
How would you describe their style of music?
Just straightforward rocking, in your face kind of, up-tempo garage rock on steroids.
I will definitely agree with up tempo there. It seemed like every song they had to play in like double time or something.
Yeah. Well, you know how it is when you're a young person like that. You have that energy and it just keeps pumping forward, and I think that's a great thing.
What's your favorite song by them?
I like Rocking the Workday Away. It's kind of a tie with Unemployment Blues. They're both really cool songs. And of course, there's That's Whitey. I mean, who could, you know, nobody could top that song.
That's Whitey.
Technically, in an as a song, I'd say Rocking the Workday Away.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
What did you think of their marketing approach? How they marketed themselves as like the worst band ever?
Well, that seems to work with people because if you tell them you're great, they just dismiss it. And so I think it creates an interest when you say that because, for one thing, it's weird and it's different. And, you know, people are like, you know how you have a piece of bad food and like, well, here, taste this. It's really bad. No, I don't want to taste it. Well, yeah, maybe I will, you know. So it is a good strategy, I thought it was, you know.
It's like an air of mystery.
Yeah. Really nice, yeah.
What did you think of the obscure covers that they did?
I like that. I don't know, you know, because most people probably don't know these type of covers like we all know them, being musicians. So if you do them, people are probably like, well, you know, that I've never heard that song before, and maybe, you know, and if you get a good response, maybe you can release it and they'll never question who it was or where it came from. So yeah, I think that was a cool and a good idea. I do that myself sometimes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. What do you remember about their stage antics?
Well, the thing that really sticks out for me is Lee dancing up on stage or doing his act with a G-string on and his mother out there dancing to it. You know, and I am not sure if his father was at any of the performances, but I think he was very kind of mortified by it to some degree. So their antics were pretty across the board and pretty much it never ended. So there wouldn't be like one, but that one kind of did stick out.
So what would you say was your favorite thing about their live show?
I would just say the energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people drank a lot at the shows because, you know, that's what people do in bars.
Mm-hmm.
And they got people up and dancing, and they rocked, and their energy was really high, and it never stopped. It was like from the moment they came on stage to the moment they left, it was go. And they just poured out the energy, and, you know, that's a great thing to me.
How about when, like, there would be a heckler in the audience and how they would handle that? What's your take on that?
Oh, I think that was just perfect for them because, you know, like, they encouraged people to do
Yes.
that.
I wish he'd take a break for that.
That's what I think is so great about it. I love you, especially get to hear some of that stuff in the movie, you know, and I didn't realize what some of the stuff was saying until I watched it with closed captioning, and it's even funnier, like, when you can hear, you know, like, perfectly what there's, I mean, I just think that stuff is so funny.
It is. It kind of has this vaudeville burlesque
Yeah,
flavor
right.
to it, which people never really got, you know, and I mean, you know, they didn't bring out a hook or anything, but, you know, that would have worked too, but then we wouldn't have got to see the band the rest of the night, so.
So who was their audience? Like, what were their fans like?
Well, it was a mixed bag of people, and really to describe their personalities independently would be really hard, but I would say a lot of the people really were from this local bar that I went to, Phillips Corner, and they were either people that were, and I say this in a nice way, they were hillbillies or they were hippies, and everything in between. They were just people that enjoyed good, fun music, you know, and that's kind of how it was, yeah.
So why do you think the band didn't reach national success?
Geez, I thought they did. All these years they didn't. I thought they did reach national success. Well, that's news to me.
So, well, why do you think there's still an interest after 35 years?
Well, you know, you got to keep on going. And, like, I'm hoping really that this will kind of snowball into a reunion, if that's
I
possible,
would love that.
even for just one night.
Yes.
And if it's just nothing but musicians there, well, that's even better.
Yeah, right. Well, we'll just have to see if that's in the stars.
Yeah, if we can find any of those people who are, God knows where they're at these days, you
I
know.
think we can round them up.
We can round them up.
Maybe. We'll see if it's in the cards. You were involved with Knee Face Records pretty much from the beginning, right? I mean,
Yes.
what can you tell me about the early days of Knee Face Records?
Well, it was Lee's idea. Thank you, Lee, wherever you're at, somewhere out in the airwaves. We decided to start a record company. Why not? And, you know, promote and produce groups. And that's how it kind of started. And I was involved with actually production of the groups, getting the groups together, getting them in the studio. Lee was very much more involved than me, and you know, and organizing everything. So we just thought, hey, why not? You know.
Well, from what he says, you were very instrumental in getting everything together. So thank you for doing that and bringing the world such great music. You know, stuff like the Baltek and everything. I mean, we wouldn't have that if it weren't for you and Lee Dahl. So thank you for your
Yeah.
service to music.
Great.
And to music fans everywhere. What was working with Dickie Westcott like?
Well, Dickie was a pretty jovial guy most of the time, and had a great laugh. That guy, you know, if I had an audience, I would want him out in the front row. And he had a couple really good songs that
Yeah.
we felt that was, you know, hey, let's put this one, let's get it down, you know, let's let the world hear it, you know. Never fear, the world will hear.
Yeah,
Knee Face
exactly.
Records are-
Knee Face Records.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was fun. It was fun working with him. It really was.
Yeah, I love
Easy
his
to work
song.
with.
Really?
Yeah, I thought.
That's good to know. Yeah, that song Harlot Woman is just so good.
The acrid smell of gunfire was on my blood. She was a cheap old
Cool song.
Uh,
Cool song.
so good. So what was your experience like working with the Baltek?
Uh, yeah, the Baltek were a different breed.
Hmm.
You know, it would be really hard to describe them. Like Wally and the Weirdos is this, and the Baltek was 180 the other way in their
Mhm.
own weird way. Uh, However, they were very talented. They were just a little unusual in their approach to things, you know, like wanting to borrow someone's underwear and things of that nature. I never got that part, but I guess being a musician, that's, you know, goes with the territory.
They wanted to borrow someone's underwear?
I think it was the piano player, Dave, as I recall, he asked either Lee or Bill Pratt after one of the sessions if he had some clean underwear he could borrow for a show tonight.
Wow. We'll be right back. So what's your favorite Baltek song?
I like Shakin' Inside, and I liked Everything's Just So Funny Now. However, I thought their music to this day, and not because me and Lee did it, but you know, I thought it was as good as anything that college music was at that point in time was a big thing. This college radio,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was as good, if not better, than any of that.
Because even if it feels like nobody is listening to what you're doing, someone out there is going to hear it, and it's going to move them in some way, and it could change their lives. You know?
Yeah, and with the access of the worldwide internet and
Yeah.
everything, which wasn't available as much then as it is now,
Right.
you never know. You
Yeah.
know, it's there. It's still there.
Yeah, right. So tell me about Mr. Ray. And what I mean, those were awesome commercials. I remember those commercials, you know, from back in the day, or however you want to say. What inspired you to put that to music?
Well, it was, again, one of these things. It snowballed. I mean, you know, we continuously made fun of him doing these goofy commercials.
Yeah.
And then one day I was sitting there listening to Hell on Wheels by, you know, Wings,
Yeah.
McCartney, and I just started putting these words to that basic rhythm, which was an A. You know, everybody's used it, just an A boogie. And it basically was Hell on Wheels with Mr. Ray lyrics put to it. So,
Mr. Ray's gonna give me hell today.
sorry, Paul. I'm sure you don't need to sue me for it because you probably took it from somebody else too. So it's a good rockin' song, and we recorded it up in my room on a cassette player, and it was one take, and that was it. And we still have it to this day, thanks to Lee, really saving that tape.
Yeah, right. Yeah, true.
I was amazed that, you know, it was still there because it was done on a cassette, and they usually disintegrate, and that's the end of
True.
that.
Yeah.
So Mr. Ray lives on.
You performed some stand-up comedy on a TV show called Showcase of Stars. Is there any more stand-up comedy in your future? You were really funny on that show, by the way.
Well, at this point, I'm hoping just to stand up. You know,
Something stinks in here.
but you know, I don't do impressions as much, and all the people I did impressions of are kind of no longer here, so I would have to rework that. You know, I did the Sammy Davis Jr. and, you know, Kirk Douglas. Kirk's still here. He'll be
Yeah.
100 this year if he makes another month. But most of those guys are not around, and I don't foresee me doing it, but you know, you never know. You
It's
know,
true.
they might think it's stand-up comedy when I'm out playing guitar, so it could be a double act sword there. This guy's really funny. Wow, I didn't know that worked in that capacity. Okay, great. Whatever gets you there, huh?
It's open to interpretation.
Yes, that's right. Exactly.
Well, another performer on that show was Bob Urban, and I know he had an influence on your life. What can you tell me about him?
Boobus, yeah, Bob. Great influence on me. You know, Bob I hold him sacred in a lot of ways. I think the first time I ever met him, it was me and Lee, and we were going to his apartment, and I'm sure it was Lee with me, but I just distinctively remember Bob playing the lead part to And Your Bird Can Sing by the Beatles, and I thought, wow, this guy's really good. This is
Yeah,
great.
that's some lick.
And you know, he was like, "Yeah, you want to do the harmony lead to it?" And I'm like, "I don't even know 3 chords," you know. And it kind of from there, that was really truly one of my big influences to play music, as was Jimmy Brown. But it was Bobby first, and I just, you know, from that point on, and I'm sorry he's not here, and I'm sorry he didn't pursue it with more passion, because he definitely had the ability and he had the talent, and he could have been definitely whatever he wanted to do. It just didn't work out, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, he did write some good songs too.
He
Yeah.
did. He was a major influence to me.
You released an album called KGB. Well, what can you tell me about the production of that?
Yeah, that was me, myself, and Bill Pratt, and a guy named Ken Kradz, who's no longer on the planet. Bill Pratt was really more instrumental in it than anybody, literally. He did a lot of the writing, a lot of the instruments. His wife helped on it. We had some other people come in, musicians. We just came in with songs, me and Ken, and Kenny wrote a lot of the lyrics, very good lyricist. I missed that. I was hoping that we could continue that, but he's no longer here. So it just kind of turned into a studio project that, well, Ken, Gary, and Bill, that's where the KGB came from. And we're now a huge hit in Russia, because I guess they think we're, you know, anti-American or something, but we're really not. So
Yeah.
it was fun, and I'm glad we got that done as well. And again, all these things that you put down, they're there forever, I hope.
Forever.
Forever, yeah. So it's always there if somebody wants to find it. you
Yeah.
know?
That is a great album.
Yeah, thank you.
Really, yeah. And what was the inspiration for the song Bad News? That's my personal favorite.
Well,
Where's your good time buddies at now?
Well, that was, it started out kind of like a joke. I wanted to do like a Jerry Reed, Jim Stafford, you know, I don't like spiders and snakes. So I wanted it in between Jim Stafford, and Jerry Reed. I chose to sing the anti-drug thing because it's like, well, you know, people have done songs about heroin, about smoking dope, about popping pills, about getting drunk. Nobody had done a song about freebasing coke. It's an anti-drug song. I want to be very clear about that.
It is. It is.
And so I just figured, well, you know what? Nobody's done one about that, so why not do that? And, you know, it started out to be kind of comical, and then it just wasn't funny. I don't know how to describe that.
Well, it does sort of get pretty heavy, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's pretty heavy and like pretty serious. Like, you know, I mean, you're singing from prison, you know, like,
Right.
yeah.
Bill was the inspiration for the rockabilly, and he brought in his guitarist Sterling, who's, you know, a phenomenal player.
Yeah, he is.
So I've been privileged to have these great players on my records.
So what can you tell me about the music video that you did for that song? You did a music video for Bad News.
Yeah, Lee Dahl called me, you know, and his production film company said, hey, you know, we'd like to put you do the song. I was really taken aback because the song was written quite a while ago, maybe 20 years, and then it was put onto CD or recorded at the early part of this century. And, you know, it was kind of shelved. It was still there, of course. And then Lee said, hey, let's put this out. I'm going to use it for one of my films. And that's how it turned out to be, you know, and there it is in the film partially. And great job on the production with Jeff.
Yeah, right. Jeff
you know,
Herberger.
Really, really great. I'm grateful for that. I never thought that anybody would even consider that. You know, it's something I don't think of in film and video, which is a great thing to do. It's just one more way to access, you know, your music.
It's very true. Now, you recently released a song called Blow and Blow. It wasn't a part of the KGB record. Now, what can you tell me about that?
Well, that was done actually, I believe, in the band No Respect for a demo for us to go out and use as a demo to get work. You know, and the lineup was Lee, Russ Crouch, Bob Clark, and I think we had various bass players, but I think it was this guy named Phil playing bass at that point. The song's a Muddy Waters song. It's an old blues song. It's a great song. You know, Eric Clapton did it, Muddy Waters did it, so I figured, well, I can put my 2 cents in there too and, you know, do my version of it. So, and, you know, having Russ on guitar
Yes.
is always going to be different in a good way,
Yeah.
you know. So nobody plays like him.
It's so true.
You
It
know,
is so true.
And that's, to me, I don't judge a guitarist like in a way that's, you know, or you're the fastest, you're the best. I judge somebody in their originality, and it's a hard thing to do to come up with your own sound, and Russ does that. You know?
Yeah, like using the instrument like as like your voice, like putting your voice to it.
To it.
Yeah,
yes,
it's really
exactly.
hard to do. I mean, a lot of people, they want to play like Jimi Hendrix or something, you know.
Right.
And they, you know, but they don't, you know, find their own voice with the instrument.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. It's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
And he does do that.
Yeah, he totally does. Gosh, I love Russ's guitar playing. What was it like? What was it like doing the music video for that song? I mean, you have all these guys that look like you. Like, where did you find all these guys that look like you, and how did you all fit in that car?
Yeah, I tell you, it's a mystery to me. I mean, you know, when I saw that myself, I was taken aback, and I was like, wow, you know, the production people being Jeff and Lee and everyone, it's like, wow, you know, you guys really have a great imagination. I guess that's part of filming, to have this wonderful imagination, because I wouldn't have thought of that. I probably would have been sitting on the wall at the 7-Eleven or something, you know. So hats off and kudos again to Jeff for, you know, bringing other people in. I really feel that in anything with music or film, it's always better to have other people involved in it.
Right.
You know, even if they're not, you know, studied at it. But when you have experts at it, then it's even better. So again, another blessing for that one. Yeah.
So what are your plans for the future then?
Well, just to keep playing music and, you know, being involved with everyone in the network of what we're all doing together. And, you know, just to make it available to people and have fun doing it. And, you know, I want people to hear us. I want people to see your films. And I'd also love to really be involved probably in the near future with probably teaching some guitar to younger students who are beginners.
That's
You
cool.
know, so that's anything involved in music or art is where I'm at. And I live in a great place in the Northwest, close to Seattle, and it's a very open community for that, and that is a plus. So we got the great Northwest going, and we got the East Coast going. So
Yeah, we
we're
do.
spread out now.
Yeah, I love it. So you're so busy working on music projects and stuff all the time. What do you do in your spare time?
Well, that is my spare time. I just basically, if I'm not playing guitar or writing music, I'm trying to learn something about something that's involved in it, with either gear, production, filming, you know, everything. I just I have a great passion for it, and I enjoy it. It's not like what's the old saying, you know, it's a labor of love, babe. So, you know, that's how it is, you know. And I know that you and Lee and Jeff and Jimmy and Bill Pratt, Luana, whoever's involved in this, that's how they feel too, and that's why they do it, you know. It's all good.
That's awesome. Gosh, thank you so much for coming all the way from the Northwest and for being with us today. It's been really great having you here.
Yes. Forever.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's here forever. Here forever. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.